Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this edition of the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, episode number 410. On deck tonight, we had a surprise guest joining us here, and then Brett Relyea also joined us, and I got to tell you, man, making it at the 11th hour, it worked, and I'm confident that is record time. Making it from But that was pretty exciting that we got a bunch of extra personalities joining us here tonight. Brian is here in studio as well. So tons and tons of stuff happening over the course of the weekend. But right off the top, I want to make a quick note. Say hi to Sam Wood. He lost his dad since last time we were together, so we're thinking of Sam Wood. And then also happy anniversary to the Remingtons. I saw them posting about going out, and I don't remember who did it, but they posted a picture of a boat and said, thanks to Hank Pensek and a litany of other people, they were able to get some parts and pieces on a boat. And I got to say, you know, Brian, I kind of expected Hank to be the one that's making the anchor to turn that boat into some sort of naturally occurring reef or something in the process of scuttling a boat. But
Hank's just one of those guys that helps everybody and anybody. And I would like to just walk through his derby shop, because I bet you there's all sorts of treasures in there, and I'm sure that's where it came from. So, but you know, we've talked about it before. Hank is a professional fireman, so he's a little crazy, but we love him. And you know, his job is to help people, and he does it every chance he gets. He's helping somebody.
And Chris and Bryce Polley making the trip in. Chris was working in Albany this weekend, so
and got that wrong. Chris, better known as Porkchop, is supervising. Bryce is doing the work. I mean, we just talked to superintendent and slaves. So I mean, you know, it's how it is.
So those guys
patronize me.
Those guys able to make the trip in and hang out with us for a little while, and all done with Power Wheels on one side of things. And you picked up a win in at one of the local fairs this year, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Germantown, Kentucky.
Was that one of the areas that was affected by any of the flooding that was coming through?
No, it was about an hour and a half north of all that, so we got lucky.
And then Brett ended up coming up with a win at Chemung over the weekend. It was nice of you to let the Fueled by Haters guys get second place, where you told them to shut it off.
You know, they told me with my age now they felt bad for me. They're going to give me
Do they still have the rule where you're not allowed to run the next year after you win?
No, that was a Stoney Roberts.
Yeah, Stoney doesn't run that anymore, right? Mike runs it now.
Same.
I thought
Aaron Kasaya and Mike Wright.
Yeah.
Chad Good, you know, the Bat crew.
Yep.
They were all doing it. Real quick, getting back to Hank. Even if nothing else, he makes you laugh.
Oh yeah.
That video that he had on his Facebook when he was testing out that airbag with that helmet on.
Yeah.
And then an hour later in the emergency room, how do you not laugh? I mean, insane. If you don't mind, Chris, I hope you don't, because I'm going to do it anyways. But
by all means.
My secretary's been with me for 15 years.
I was going to ask you about this.
She.
Hey, I know this is important to you, so I want to make sure they can hear it. Swing that microphone a little bit closer so everybody can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that my secretary's been with me for 15 years, is battling cancer. I put a thing on my Facebook. Anybody that, you know, sees it, or, you know, just a like or anything, you know, she's just, her name is Stacy, and she just a person that would care for anybody, anytime, any hour, and very loyal person, and get the shirt off her back. And you know, 20 years of knowing her, she's always been, you know, I'm a nobody, or nobody don't know who I am, or I'm not important, or I'm not this, and I just wanted to overwhelm her a little bit with likes or whatever. I know that's off topic a little bit, but it was something that meant something to me. And
you guys had a nice parade from the shop I
Yeah,
saw.
unfortunately, I didn't make it, and I feel
Oh,
bad
I mean, you
about it.
had a pretty good reason not to. I mean, you were busy with Preston.
Well, he's racing every weekend. We had, so 8 o'clock in the morning, we're up in, Sydney area racing dirt bikes, and now we're trying to get back to get a car to Chemung, and
Where's he racing the dirt bikes up there?
they do Wyona, the hare scrambles, so they're at a different track every week.
Right.
But that one there was up on Cafferty Hill, I believe.
The good thing is he's Brett Relyea, so if he gets the Derby like 3 hours late, it's okay. They just let him in anyways.
That
so.
wasn't the problem. It was making it through inspection the
Oh.
second time and time.
Ooh-wee. Why would you have trouble make it through inspection?
Well,
Yeah, what'd guy do to his car?
yeah. Well, it was Taylor Atwell's car originally.
Okay. So what's he doing?
Yeah, so it was his fault. I just didn't know how bad of a cheater he was. Luckily, Raymond, Willie Turner, Jeremy Pilson, and Matt Porman were like lifesavers. We're all trying to cut this car apart for 3 hours, and literally dumping water on ourselves. I drank more water yesterday than I probably did in the last 5 years. But it was rather enjoyable. The guys did a good job. It was fun, and the week before that, I guess good Lord's on my side or something. We pulled off Broom too. Matt Brown felt bad for me, so he give me a.
Are you going for the three-peat this weekend in hometown?
We'll give it a try. I don't
know if you're going to get as much sympathy there.
Oh, probably not.
I don't know. I mean,
Now, from back in the day, that was your hometown and Whitney Point were pretty much the same cars, and they were two of the best shows in New York because everybody that was on that track was out for blood.
It was rough.
It was intense.
It was rough.
You guys, the amount of cars you guys went through and the money they'd be worth now.
The any younger kids or anybody, or even old as in my age, one thing that I have found out, and this is we've briefly talked about it. Back in them days, Chris, when we're going through the fight, and so say there's turmoil in house, and
who'd have thought?
I absolutely hate this life. I hate the fighting with my friends. I hate and I'm getting out of the sport. You know how many friends, families, acquaintances that was made in the sport throughout the time that became some of your best friends. Mm-hmm. Shoot, me and Mark Benjamin show up Waterloo and we get escorted out by state police because it wasn't safe to go on our own after we went. They tear down the fences and
Well, that's because you guys cheated.
At them times, you're saying, I don't want to do this no more because agree with Porkchop or not, you're fighting and you're.
Everybody loves Porkchop. You wouldn't know about that.
Oh, he's seen it, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then as you look back at it, 5, 10, 20 years later, that was some of the best. So even when there's a bad day now and say there is controversy, like Mark Benjamin and Dale Randall had a polite conversation after the Derby yesterday. And I says,
That would have been fun to see.
but maybe that is some of the best times. You just don't realize it. To convince yourself at that time,
There's been a lot of times where you guys have been in the midst of some sort of Southern tier spat where nobody wants to get along with anybody, but as soon as one person says, I'm getting out of it, I'm all done, it's those people that you're at war with that are like, well, you going to put a car together?
Isn't that ironic? Like,
oh, it's weird, man.
It's weird. It really is. The energy of getting out of it, but being the scared to be out of it, but the excitement to be in it, it's more exciting, strangely enough, to have a reason to go, do it. Like, I have a challenge.
I saw a post that made me
Getting
think.
serious. He's pointing his finger.
I thought that perhaps there was somebody that you might know that had somehow found a reason to be motivated when they're looking for a built turnkey Imperial.
Yeah, that's possible.
Okay.
That's possible.
We'll put a pin in that.
They aren't friends on Facebook, so he might not have seen that post, unless Mel showed it to him.
It's funny.
No.
You wear rose inners.
I got weird friends in weird places.
Oh, I know.
Some tell me some things, some don't.
I know.
Depending on my What
Mine said?
personality I have that day? Some days Mel don't tell me. Some days she does. She always tells me. It's just if I'm sleeping, I don't hear it or something. I don't know where it's safe.
Yeah.
You know anything about what he's talking about with that hometown spats and people arguing and fighting back and forth?
All the time.
I find that hard to believe.
Porkchop, I can't imagine, and this is the God's honest truth, and I was thinking about this when we were coming in here today, when I was coming in today. We've been doing this for what, 10 years now, Chris? Almost 10 years? And one of the first names I remember hearing was this guy named Porkchop. And this is the God's honest truth. We started going to bigger derbies. We heard about this guy named Porkchop. He came up and introduced himself, and at the time, his boy was not 6'2" and derby in full-size cars. He was a little bit smaller. And we got to beat Porkchop. And Porkchop is absolutely just one of the best guys we've met in derby.
Where was that first?
It's either
Owenton stands out, but I thought it was
place
before.
In Kansas that we went.
no,
Was it Owenton?
no. It was when I first met you. Was the banquet?
No, we known each other before that. We'd been to Owenton before that.
The bank was the first I met him.
Yeah.
Then it had to be Blizzard Bash or Bash or Cash, one or the other.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's just like the name Porkchop was just so well known throughout the derby community. And he's another one, like Hank. I mean, I can't tell you the number of cars I've seen Porkchop working on at Blizzard Bash, at Bash for Cash, or cooking for what seemed like the entire derby. So, and this is the God's honest truth. Because I was coming in, I just, like Chris and I talk a lot off air.
We have to.
And yeah, and we both feel very blessed at what we've been able to do through derby. You know what I mean? Like the people we've met, like Brett said, the friends we've met, the acquaintances, just it's amazing. You know, and we have just met some of the best people in the world, and I would absolutely put Porkchop in that because, he's always been great to us, always been so welcoming. And to hear that somebody could not like the Porkchop just absolutely blows my mind.
And a little bit on the same topic, which is whatever. There is many people that, whether it's California, Utah, I'm sure there's all kinds of, back in the day when the banquet was started, I didn't. It was done because nobody would do it. Nobody, so just created it. Drivers, I don't think get appreciated enough as they should. They promoters, certain promoters like used to run Chemung, they just don't care about the drivers. But there is certain people out there that I think are, and it ain't that I'm gonna try to gloat certain people, but there is certain people out there that truly do things for the right reasons. There's people that do things for smoky mirrors right reasons. But I have to personally say the Scheltemas absolutely blow my mind. They like, I'll be going through the pits or whatever, you'll hear people talk, they got, this, and they got their money wins them the derby, and they're cocky, and if you talk, don't get me wrong, they could be, and if you piss them off, they will be. Well, I really only know Steve and Todd, and the connections they've made in the derby world, or in the football, or you see all kinds. It's just I'm in the derby world. You don't hear about when Todd gives tractor trailer loads of free turkeys away. He don't gloat about. There are so many amazing people out there, and then there's people that get the wrong impressions because you don't know them, you don't know what they're about, you don't know what they did because they ain't bragged about it, but yet they're out for the wrong reasons, or they want attention, or they want this, or they want, and I just had to say, like Pete Hansen, Pete is a brother of mine, I love him unconditionally, he's a really good friend, but he tried putting on that big money derby down in, he lost 20 grand, or what, I don't know the exact number, but I know it was a lot, to try. I told him it wasn't going to work because I just didn't think it would because of the build, because of what he believes in, because of whatever. But he tried, and he tried for the right reasons, and his word was good. But when you were going with the people in the past, it just the psyop was just clicked in my head of what they brought to the table and what they've done, and things they've tried,
Yeah, they got some. They're definitely doing some pretty neat stuff.
It blows my mind, the videos, you know what I mean? Like you might have seen it. You ever seen anybody take a damn derby car to a car show, like a big car show? Like,
No, that was pretty cool.
I mean, did you see that video on?
Yeah.
I thought, just
See everybody
mind-blowing.
looking at him?
It was mind blowing to me.
Yeah, parked right next to his 61 or 62 Impala. Yeah, it was cool.
They were both his.
Yeah, they're both. Must be decided to leave the dart home or the demon home.
So what brings you guys to the area? I don't even think we actually got into how you made your way on the air from Albany by way of Kentucky.
I'm up here for work. I build commercial buildings. Right now we're doing a Smoothie King in Clifton Park and a Buff City Soap in Kingston and another smoothie in Poughkeepsie Hudson Heritage.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, it's great to see you. Hopefully, Finger Lakes 1 was everything that you believed it to be behind the cameras. It's always great to get the message when somebody cruises by the first time. It's like, is that an old school? Yeah, you found it. You got the
Fallout shelter in the 50s as well. Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Jim, the guy that owns Finger Lakes 1, he went to school here. He was the last class to come out when this was, I think it was 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade back in 1984. So now the top floor is essentially all Finger Lakes 1. The media offices are next door, and then all the web design offices were to the left. And they're now in the process of remodeling the overlook in the auditorium. We'll be able to show you that a little bit later on when we get things settled down after the show wraps up. And we found out that we're going to go from Power Wheels into full size, right, Bryce?
Yeah.
None of this lawnmower stuff?
Actually, he's going to run a minivan in September.
Yes, that I am.
Where are you going to run that, bud?
We got another little local county fair about 30 minutes from us.
Nice.
So he's going there. He bowed out for me for the county fair there by our house to finish my car. So
It's a good young man you got.
he built quite a bit of it. He's going to be dangerous soon.
Yeah, he says I'm going to be dangerous, yet I'm going to a county fair with a cotton candy pink and blue minivan.
That's all right. Chicks dig those colors. It'll be all right.
Bluegrass Hunter and
What did you,
Maddie Evans are in the
What did
chat.
you run down there, Porkchop? What was that? What year
07,
was it?
stock build, just front cradle. No plates, no nothing.
Hard nose bumper, I'm sure, or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my fabricated bumpers, but yeah.
That 11 that I just ran, man, they're hard cars.
I know. You talked me into one.
Dude, we unloaded it, and everybody around home, they're not what you would call, there's a few boys that build and run, the Garrisons, Smoot, all them guys, they like to go out and they run Young and Reckless shows, some of the other guys, but a lot
Is
of
that
our,
normally an old iron show, or is it all? Because everything out west is all new iron anymore, isn't it?
some of them guys just basically whatever runs, they'll bring and have fun. Some guys build, some of the Ohio boys come over and play.
Now, did Jason run?
No, he came down, thank God.
This is Jason Koch.
This is ironic. So 2 months ago, I was working in Ohio and decided to run. I got the car with the cage in it, motor and trans. Then they called and told me I'm coming to New York. So when I left, the engine was in, the cage was almost done, no doors, no doghouse, no bumpers, no tank, nothing. Everything was just sitting in it. I left here Friday the 29th. I run Tuesday night the 2nd at 7 o'clock.
Oh.
I had 6 guys Saturday morning to Tuesday, wide open, and we got done at 9:30 Tuesday morning.
And he's running against the whatever can run cars. I feel bad about him. Why couldn't you just be one of the average guys who run whatever runs?
I did.
Actually, Brett, there's somebody's got an answer to that right here in the chat. It says it doesn't really matter because Chop has a light foot on the track anyway.
Right? It had to be either Chuck Bradbury or Owen.
I'll tell you, My 11-year-old's cost me some money the last couple of years. my foot used to be on the light side, really light side. And it don't matter where I am, Chris. I'll be in the middle of a driver's meeting. He'll yell out, "My dad's a sandbagger." He's going, oh. So then you got to run a little bit harder. And then, well, I did.
When you look over on the wall and he's going,
yeah, he'll tell me he'll fall asleep or get bored or, whatever. The power wheels hit hard or he runs this trap. And I want to strangle him, but yet I want to run to make him proud, but yet I don't want to buy more parts, but yet it's fun to run hard, but yet.
well, that was with me. With this county fair, I haven't ran a big car there since my mom died. And the last show I ran there, I won. I put the trophy in her casket, and I said, I'm done. Well, then he built me a minivan. I started running vans there. Won that twice. Tried the mini car there last year and ended up ripping the steering column out and throwing it out the window.
And then picked it back up and set it back in the car after the Derby.
Right? So this year I was like, well, it's 15 years since she died, 25 years since I started. I'm taking a big car. Jason come down from Indiana. He worked on the engine, got all the shifters and pedals and everything hooked up. My boys, Owen and Chuck and Johnny, they were welding, beating, banging, whatever we needed. Bryce was all over the place. He was running parts. Mama was cooking. And it fell into place. We loaded her up Tuesday. I had about 3 hours sleep in 4 days.
You remember back in the day when, Corey was young, my brother Corey? Well, he used to, remember when Ben Hoss run his car to Weagle because he got scared? Mm-hmm. And Richie or whatever told Jesse, I don't know, somebody told him they're going to get him. Well, Corey's like, I ain't running. Nope.
On the asphalt.
Yeah. So Ben Hoss gets in it. It was an 80-some Caprice. Mm-hmm. Well, yesterday at the Derby, I'm sitting in the car, getting ready to go out here, another heat. And this kid walks by with jogging pants, shorts on, Crocs, no socks. I'm going to get in that car right there. He says, 80-some Caprice that ran in the heat before that, there's only 2 cars. The name was Tyler, and he, no cage, stock gas tank, stock tires, got grill in it. He opens the door up. Don't hit me. So I says, you said you're going to get me. No. He's really, I'm not running then. So I told him I was going to knock his crock off. Nobody wants to and backed up, and I had that, the videos on my Facebook. It was from here to 20 feet, and I cracked it pretty good. I mean, it runs okay, and I had the New Yorker bumper, and I hit the passenger door right, and I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't do that again. I mean, I didn't hit him hard enough to hurt him, but his eyes, and it reminded me of my brother back, when it run.
Oh, yeah.
But it was rather amusing.
Right. There was a lot of stuff that was going on this weekend. It was very, very busy. You're talking about that that pressure to impress the kid. That's the same reason why Justin Henderson got back in the car, and he was holding his daughter in Victory Lane at Land of Legends a couple weeks ago after the Sportsman feature, oval track stuff, not Derby. And they said, so why'd you get back into it in Victory Lane? And he said, for this right here, so I could get this Victory Lane picture. Mm-hmm. We talked with the jumpers a couple weeks back. They were back at it again. Clay had a birthday over the weekend, and he kick-started it right at the Buck. Clayton got the win. Austin was second, and then Spencer was third. And all the cars, there were 3 different types of cars. Every one of them been identical. They rolled right up in the back like it was nothing. So congratulations out to those guys. They had a great run. The gentleman that was taken out on the backboard at the Spinning Wheels show this weekend, he's got some bruises, but he is going to be all right. And we saw Tommy Woodbury come home third. in the bone stocks at Morris. So congratulations to him,
What
Tracy.
class he was in, Chris?
I don't remember what class that was.
Gator, compact, or
Tommy or the
no,
back.
I didn't even hear nothing about it.
I just happened to see a post from Spinning Wheels, and Josh Buell had commented on it. So thankfully that guy's going to be okay, because we've heard it 100 times that everybody's got to go back to work on Monday. So he should be okay. And the Psyopas, they wanted to give a shout out to Hope Brandt, taking second place at the WGD show at the Westmoreland County Fairgrounds with a Big Wing tribute car. Hope, Big Wayne told Hope 4 years ago, go out and have fun, you'll be a great driver. So she came home with second place in that one over there. We're going to shift gears a little bit here. We're going to tell you a little bit about the current state of the Unified Point Series for a minute as we get Chris Rookey on the phone to talk a little bit about his run at the Governor County Fair. We will be right back. Unified Point Series was in action again this weekend, and it shuffled the leaderboard a little bit. Upcoming events this weekend, it will be in action once more with Hardcore Promotions Washington Warzone in Washington, Pennsylvania. And they got a few more dates through the month of August. Big Boy Promotions in Mercer. That's going to be Salina, Ohio on the 18th of August. And then the 20th and the 27th will be the two TNT shows coming up to cap the month. The first in Berrien Springs, the second in Oceana. Both of them are in Michigan. And then that brings us around to September 3rd and 4th, the Hardcore Promotions Labor Day Lockdown in Stoneboro, leading up to Iron City Promotions Double Points show on the 10th of September. That's going to be in New Alex, Pennsylvania. Results from the weekend. That includes the win at Preble County for Randy Lips in front-wheel drive street stock 1. Josh Atwood got the win in front-wheel drive street stock 2. The third group, J.D. Lorene, adds to his lead with the win in front-wheel drive street stock 3. Richard Davis won the rear-wheel drive street stocks. Mark Metz, he jumped into the 9th spot by winning the van truck division. Steven Sickles, he tried to keep pace with J.D. Lorene by winning the Smash It Minis, and the pro stock win went to Chandler Napier. Now, at this point, the leaderboard, J.D. Lorene is out in front with 108 points. Steven Sickles back there with 90. Ty Richards still sitting in third, and no changes back there, 3rd through 8. Santel, Miller, Jones, Klemke, Drevenak back there, no changes there. Mark Metz, again, we just talked about him jumping up to 9th with 32 points. And that three-way tie, Corey Buddy, Dennis Hogan, Daryl Myers, still sitting right there in 10th place with 28 points. So the last item on deck for the Unified Point Series stuff, the virtual Unified Point Series side of things. Border Bash is going to be next up. That's going to be at the Guard server on the 13th of August. The Warzone event that was going to be hosted by the Hardcore Full Throttle Misfits and Ryan Devroy, that was canceled over the weekend. So no changes through the top 10 at this point on the leaderboard for that event. And then the August 16th date has been canceled in lieu of the RDP Team Rampage, a 256-car two-man format team show scheduled for the end of this month. Things are going to pick up again once fall gets here. September 2 and 3 is going to be Labor Day Lockdown. That's again going to be hosted by Full Throttle. And then the September 24th event is going to be Vito 324 Gaming's Street Stock Showdown number 3. That postponed event for Compact Carnage has yet to be set, but that is coming down the line. So at this point, Andrew Hernandez on top, Kyle Homer in second, Michael Coons in third in the point standings as we wrap up the 2022 virtual Unified Point Series side of things. To keep track of upcoming dates and other information for the real world 527 Unified Series, jump online, 527unifiedseries.com.
Where'd you go?
We did do a derby.
Ow, my head! You went to a derby?
Hey Derby World, this is All For Him Racing Videos, where Derby never ends. We have people come up and ask, what is All For Him Racing Videos? And the answer is a YouTube channel dedicated to growing the sport of demolition derby in a positive and fun way. Our passion is to show the next generation the sport and capture the memories for generations to come. We're just trying to show that you can be a Christian, do crazy and exciting things like demolition derby, and just spread the word. We have traveled all over the country filming events. all while meeting many great people, hearing amazing stories, seeing the passion for this sport, and falling in love with the Derby community. We have grown to be the largest Demolition Derby channel on YouTube across the world, with millions of views within our large library of videos. We love what we do and can't wait for what the future has in store. We always want to be a place for positive, exciting, and action-packed Derby videos. Thank you, Derby World, and enjoy the videos.
Really?
I love the conversation that's going on in the live chat right now. Junkyard Dog just said, "I don't know how anybody from New York can go to work after the derbies the way that they run up there." So that's and then Matt Evans was right there, ready to jump in, and he said that's just a way of life up here. So that was kind of cool. Chris Rookey is joining us here on the line. There was some action that was going on up in the north part of the state. Joey St. Mary, I don't know if you saw the picture that Kyle Corrier had shared. Kyle Corrier had one of his GoPros get the full Remington treatment with Joey St. Mary, blew that thing to pieces. Colby Blaze was second up there in Malone, and then Tony Alexander, he was posting about the great night that he had out there. Better teammate in the garage. He had all sorts of help, and Dylan Dolinsky finally got first place and second in compacts. That was pretty good for those guys. And Tony Alexander got first and third in compacts. They're going to be back in action this weekend, later on this week. And Chris Rookey joining us. Chris, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, man, I appreciate you making some time and coming out to hang out with us here for a little bit. It was excellent to see that you had picked up the win in Governor. I haven't personally been up there, but I've heard plenty about Governor and running up there. Certainly no easy one to come across, and the car looked like it held up great.
Yeah, it was the first 75 two-door Impala I run. Had great luck with it. Lots of great competition. Got in a fight with a couple Eldorados. But I had to call your engine, and she seemed to hold up well. I lost the belt in the heat, and of course I brought every spare part with me but a spare belt. And we went out in the feature, and I took a chance, put a radiator in it, but didn't have a spare belt. We took a chance, but this Collier never skipped a beat, so it was great to have a good power plant.
That's a motor that's really, the last, 4 or 5 years, has really come to prominence. Those Colliers, a lot of people run of them. A lot of people having a lot of good success with them. Another story, right here was a case in point. So.
And Chris was excited to get out of Facebook jail early enough to be able to share pictures as he was getting ready to let that thing sing. Where's this fall in terms of the wins and the amount of success that you've been able to find up there at Governor?
I've been running that track for quite a few years. Always wanted to win it. And yesterday, luck was on my side. Had lots of great friends helping me to get it ready for the feature. It's a great track, great people. And all in all, it was a good day. I'd like to find another Impala. This was the first one I ever ran, and I'd like to run other big shows, but time is a big thing for me, and I'm a one-man guy. I build them all myself, and time is of the essence. So hopefully I'd like to get out and run some bigger and better shows.
I tell you what, one of the people that told us that they weren't going to travel was Guy Raymond, and it's changed everything. Craig Waddell's another one that got out of town a little bit. Tom Henderson, kind of the same deal. And we got 2 drivers here in studio tonight that have spent a lot of time traveling all over the place. And really, once you get out of town, once you get out of your home area, it changes things dramatically for how you look at yourself and your confidence and what you can do behind the wheel when you start matching up against people that you don't know. And it also helps a lot in terms of what you're able to do in the car, because you don't necessarily owe anybody anything when you get out of town. You don't know anybody. You can kind of run under the radar.
Yeah, and it gets away a little bit from the favoritism, and everybody has their crowd favorites. But the biggest thing is, traveling and meeting new people. That's the best thing about this sport. I've been to to bigger shows to watch, and met a lot of nice people along the way. Talked to, a few people, and, there's guys out there that are willing to help, and they give me a few pointers on how to build this Impala. So, there's a lot of good people in this sport. It's more of like a family. I consider this community in the derby world more of a family.
Sure.
For sure.
I mean, we were talking about that a little bit earlier when Brett was talking about all the stuff that people, all the people that are they're willing to do stuff for the good reasons. Then there's the smoke and mirror ones too. But generally, when it comes down to it, if you're in need, the Demolition Derby community is there for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. That's the whole point about this sport is meeting new people. Seeing other builds, kind of getting some new ideas. That's the best part about it.
You remember back in the day, I don't think people are the same anymore, but even at county fairs or whatever, you'd walk by somebody's car, or you'd have to have somebody set on your car because you'd worry that somebody's going to take the keys. This is when you rent factory columns or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, generally speaking, providing the driver knows or whatever, you don't just get all sneaky. They don't care what you look at. They don't.
Nope.
I mean, there is some out there that are very, but you take certain drivers, a lot. I think the majority's the other way. Like, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't care. Back, what I'm getting is how much it's changed over the years. The sneakiness, where
Oh yeah, I mean, back in the day, there was no secrets that were given out, man. It was everything was held tight.
And where that was going, Chris, was people helping people out. They want to educate them. Hey, what about this? Or somebody says, what kind of spindles you running, or whatever. Go ahead and look. It's.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we had a conversation at Land of Legends on Saturday with Steven that there's a cultural shift that's happened, and Steven and myself and probably you guys as well. You're on that in between. It's the generation that was before us protected everything, right down to like the photographers at the racetracks and stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like the columnists and stuff. It was all that protective. This is mine. Nobody does anything, and we're sort of in the middle. Like, why is that? But it was still. There's people within our generation that's looking at it and saying, we need to figure out why this is being passed down. And then some people completely embrace that being passed down too. But it's the ones that are after us that are just like, look, we're at a point where I can show you everything that you need to see on my car. But if you don't know how to use it, it doesn't matter. Here, go look at all you want, because you're not going to be able to figure out how to put it together.
Pete Hansen's told many people like that, I can show them whatever they want. If they don't know how to do it, it ain't going to be the same.
Well, he also has one advantage no one else does, because he's got a metal extruder and can make his own frame rails. That's one thing they don't have.
I always say it's 50% driver and 50% car. That's just, my opinion.
Well, Brett always told me 90% of the game was half mental.
I believe it's 70%
a lot of
driver,
times I don't
15%.
go to win. I just go to see how hard
mental.
I can hit somebody and put on a show for the fans,
The reason I say the mental, like I truly do believe there is a part of that. I guarantee you being, I call you Rain Man because there ain't nothing you forget, but Donnie Hartzell, I don't want to offend nobody about talking about Seneca County, but Donnie Hartzell come down to me and him at the hometown, and I thought he had me beat. And I pulled up next to him, and I give him thumbs up. He looks at me, and he shakes his head, and he backs up, and I just sat there. I'm sitting there. He don't know if the car's running. I'm sitting there let it idle, and he backs all the way up, and here he comes, and he's got big block wide open. I wait for him to get about 10 feet from me, and I back up. He goes right on by. I waved to him. Dude, he was punching the roof of the car. It got in his head so bad that it was, me and you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it come down to me and you. I'm pulling up next to you, giving you.
Yeah, we fist bumped.
We fist bumped in the feature.
Yep.
Right at the end. I didn't have no steering for 30 minutes. I was shot anyways.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I felt terrible.
I believe there's a level of that. I do believe there's a. And don't get me wrong, the building makes a big difference. What you do, Mark Benjamin, I'm telling you, you put that guy in a car. He shows up at economy build yesterday. We're talking tilted cars. He shows up with a Grand Fury.
That he's ran 12 times.
He's won Norwich twice with it, a shocker.
Mm-hmm.
Rear end, Mark, junked the, and you ain't beating him.
No.
Even if he has not a third of the car of the other people.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, that's definitely driver.
It does make a difference.
Well, I mean, I'll go back even farther when it comes to mind games. You go way back when Tony Stewart won his last championship. You know, Carl Edwards was hot all year, and Tony limped into the last 10 races. Man, I don't know, we shouldn't be here. Then he proceeds to win 5 of 10, and they're getting ready to go to Florida for the last race. He said, "Man, if I was Carl Edwards, I'd be nervous." Then they kept doing interviews up until you could see Tony just turning it, and you could see Carl's face changing throughout the week. And it's the same way with derbies. I mean, you know, Mark Benjamin would come up, and I mean, you know, they ran so much more than us, and they did have better cars. But he'd come up, and we'd all pawn the track. He'd go, "Hey, when I win tonight, you want the Spock? I already have 3." Just
I asked, tell you.
Yeah. He's like, "When I win tonight, do you want the spot to go to Syracuse?" And it was boom, out of the game, just like that. And I mean, you know, drivers can do stuff like that. I mean, it takes a long time to get over that stuff.
We talked a lot about drivers that never lose their composure. You know, Jason Koch's one of them, that you cannot rattle that guy. No matter what you do, you will not knock him off. Tommy Henderson has become that way too. And
I can't believe him. Always drives the wagons in Topeka. 36.
Yeah.
Markley, Chad Markley. You will never make Chad Markley mad on a derby track. Maybe afterwards when there's a bad call, but they're on the track.
Yep. And
Toby.
Oh yeah, Toby Hiley.
You put Toby in a wagon or a Vic, either or. Mr. Cool.
Yep. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yep.
So, Chris, when we're talking about that kind of a thing, you know, and keeping your head in the game and not losing your composure, that's part of that mental game, part of that driving aspect. You can never count your chickens before they're hatched. Was there a point in that feature up there in Governor where you knew that you had it, or did you not want to let the confidence get that high in your piece and just let all the cards fall as they may?
I never go to win. I don't go. I never plan on winning. I just go out there, you know, most of the time my foot to the floor, and, you know, I don't care if I win or not. As long as the grandstands are on their feet and the crowd gets to show for what they paid for, that's what it's all about.
Well, you had that number 5 move.
Sometimes you're the hammer, and sometimes you're the nail, and this time I was the hammer.
It's one of the only times I thought that maybe Tom was going to catch Jerry.
Yeah, there's a few times, but, you know, it's 50% driver and 50% car. You know, you could have the best car out there, and, you know, you could break a tie rod end. I've been to the feature many times before, end up getting down to 3rd place and getting stuck or hung up. You know,
Sure.
Sometimes it's just luck of the draw.
Right on. Well, man, congratulations on the win. It was great to catch up with you for a few minutes. Is there anybody that you wanted to make mention of here before we let you go?
I'd like to just thank my friends and family, and, you know, for putting up with all the late nights in the garage, and my biggest supporters and the fans, honestly, you know, and I'm sure all these other derby drivers, you know, their girlfriends put up the long hours, and, you know, it takes a lot to build a car to be competitive. A lot of late nights, a lot of hard work, and, you know, this time it finally paid off for me.
Sure did. Well,
Hey, Chris, I'll get a couple Impalas pulled out for you if you want to get down here in the next couple weeks and get them out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he knows how to take that. Get a hold of him after the show wraps up, and you can let him know how serious.
No, I appreciate you guys for having me. It was great talking to you guys. I'm flattered.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations, and maybe if luck goes your way, we'll get to do it again before the season's over.
Yes, hopefully. You know, I'm planning to finish it off somewhere this year, but maybe next year I'm hoping to to get out to these bigger shows, and run one or two of these bigger shows, and hopefully, meet you guys and meet new drivers as well.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to it. If you need any contact or travel information, we certainly have a notebook full of that stuff. And if I could offer any advice before you do that, I would say go to the Derby that you're thinking about running. Go to it as a spectator first. Walk around the pits and get a look at what you're getting yourself into before you make the final decision, because the last thing you want to do is drive 6, 8, 10, 12 hours and find out that you brought a water pistol when everybody else brought AK-47s.
Yeah, exactly. And up my way, I live way up north, 15 minutes from the Canadian border, and one of my problems is cars are getting really hard to find.
Well, that's because Jamie St. Mary has all of them.
Yeah, and he's getting them out of the Carolinas, I believe, and they're good guys too, and they got a lot of old iron, but I think it's getting harder to find for all of us.
Yep,
For sure.
I believe it. Well, again, congratulations on the win, man. Well done, and we look forward to catching up with you soon, Chris.
Hey, thank you, and thanks for having me, guys.
Of course.
Have a good one.
We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great day.
See you now.
Bye-bye.
There goes Chris Rookey. Some more results from over the course of the weekend.
I want to impale off of my waffle.
Really?
Yeah, and it's still at my shop. That's it's been a couple of years before not this year, the year before that swap meet.
Yeah.
And he waffled one off, and I won the waffle. That's why, so you can come get the
You got spares. You got them.
other one and have that one back. And have
Some people are trying to figure out what to do with their old iron options. You're just giving them away.
I don't think it'll be given.
Not quite. Maybe misunderstood.
I'm not thinking given.
No.
Maybe. We'll see what my mood is that way. What personality.
How many tickets did you have to buy?
Me?
Yeah, to win that.
One.
Probably one.
Are you averaging between all the tickets?
Nope,
No.
just that one.
Just
Nope,
that one.
Just that one.
Because if
I
had
said just
Nope,
that
just
one.
that one.
I've very clearly.
fair
Just-
average. I believe I bought two.
there it is.
Jamie St. Mary hauled it for me, and he didn't charge me nothing. And I think I bought two. I think I got a couple $100 in it.
We're going to let you know about some of the stuff going on with Smash It Demolition Derby, and we are going to get Matt Scheltema on the line here in just a few minutes. We'll be right back. Smash It Demolition Derby continues a busy month of August with the Hartford Independent Fair coming up tomorrow. August 11th is going to be Athens County. August 12th is Champaign County. August 13th is going to be Ross County. Quick break for 4 days, then they're back at it. August 17th is Miami County. Henry County is on the 18th. Boyd County, Kentucky is on the 19th. The 23rd and 24th is the two-day Portage County Fair. And the 26th is Allen County. Got some results coming in from Smash It as well. The 2022 season continues. The Auglaize County Fair Street Stock Full-Size Randy Schmerge won that from Wapakoneta, Ohio. Street Stock Mini 1 was Cole Mongold from Wapakoneta. Street Stock Mini 2 was Jace Elson from Sydney. And then the Street Stock Minivan, Mini Truck, and Mini SUV class, Dylan Christel won that one from Sydney, Ohio. Again, that was August the 4th from Auglaize County. Last week, August the 1st, Preble County School Bus Night. School Bus Derby, Mike Schroeder won that one from Lewisburg. And the Street Stock Mini class win went to Josh Reynolds from New Paris. August the 1st, that same night, Greene County Fair hosted their 4-division program. Pro Stock Mini Class, Brandon Pinkerton won that one from New Vienna, Ohio. Street Stocks, Seth Vickers got the win from Sabina. Street Stock Mini 1, Noah Suter won from New Vienna. And then Street Stock Mini 2 was Paul Reed. Keep up to date with all the results, rules, and upcoming events with the classes listed online at www.smashitderby.com. The Hardcore Tour is going to pick back up this weekend. They've got 3 shows in the next week. August 12th is going to be Chaos and Coal Country with Waynesburg, Pennsylvania playing the backdrop for the Hardcore Compacts, the Hobby Stocks, and the Power Wheels. And then August the 13th and the 19th is the 2-day Washington Warzone show at the Washington County Fairgrounds in Washington, Pennsylvania. Night 1 is the Hardcore Limited Weld, full-size Bone Stocks, Youth Full-Size Street Stock Compacts, and the Power Wheels. And then night 2 is going to be the Hardcore Compacts, the Hobby Stocks, Minivan SUV, and the Power Wheels. September 3rd and 4th is going to be Labor Day lockdown in Snowboro, Pennsylvania. That is the crown jewel of the hardcore season. September the 3rd includes the Hobby Stocks, the Youth Compacts, Street Stock Compacts, Minivan trucks, SUVs, full-size trucks, Power Wheels. And then September the 4th is Youth Full-Size, Hardcore Limited Weld, Hardcore Compact, Full-Size Bone Stock, and the Power Wheels. All the information and scheduling data can be found online at hardcorederbypromotions.com. RPM Group is a progressive waste management business serving nearly 4,000 residents and businesses around Owego, New York. RPM Group can take care of all your waste management needs. Boasting a fleet of 2 roll-offs and 6 garbage trucks, RPM is fully insured and ready to serve. Ask about asbestos abatement and surveys, interior and exterior demolition, private parties and foreclosures, curbside trash and recycling, all that and more. Click or call, ask for Corey, tell him you heard about him here at the Crash Course Nationals, rpmgroupny.com, or 607-223-8714. Demolition Derby Life magazine releases 12 copies a year and covers all of the action coast to coast for the Demolition Derby world, home of the hottest action motorsports magazine on the market. There's over 30 editions that have been published to date. A full year subscription is $119, and past issues are available. They should be coming out with another release here in the coming weeks. Make sure you jump online and follow along. Find out more about Lexi Joes and everything going on with Demolition Derby Life magazine on demolitionderbylife.com. And we're back with a couple other stats before we bring Matt Scheltema on the air. Scotty Drevenek Jr. had a great weekend. Won the Medina Friday night and then Columbiana tonight. Iceman picked it up. Smash It had a great program overall. Tyler Dodd was second place. Zach Pitts got his first in big cars. It's a weekend to remember for the whole of the Drevenek crew. Tony Miller, he got the win over at the Brown County Fair. And then Austin Johnson, he was posting about the remarkable night that he had. Didn't have any, essentially didn't have a transmission. The Ultra Bell had failed on that one. Jerry Lyerly asked him what roof sign he was going to want to run. They put Terry's on the top, and the deal was he had to drive it like Terry Lyerly would have, and he delivered in a big way, made a huge impact, literally and figuratively, across the board. And again, big win for Tony Miller, pulling that down over at the Brown County Fair. And Dawson Mack, he had an excellent night as well over there in Mobile. It came down to him and his dad, and his dad gave him the signal to keep laying it down, and first and second place, and with the Dominator Award. So congratulations to Dawson Mack, getting to make some memories that will probably never age out over there. Candace Jo Fries marked up another win. She took down the Win and the Mad Dog in Seward, Nebraska. Kevin Ullman had fuel pump issues, ended up second. And then she had that Derby in Mobile that we just referenced there a moment ago. And some real quick notes on Crash Fest Express, as we were talking about them a little bit earlier. We were talking about maybe making that trip out to Geneva, Nebraska. Limited Well, Justin Nitch got the win over Ethan Johnson and Wyatt Anderson. And the Mad Dog in that class went to Mike Stadler in the old school and 90s and newer. Travis Buck got the win in that one, and Cyrus Thomas with the Mad Dog. The back in time class was Luke Evans and Brent Burr. Mad Dog to Brandon Arujo. And then Loop City pre-ran bone stock class was Trey Miller and Nathan Fowler with Mad Dog. Caden Nickel got the Mad Dog honors in that one. So real quick before we move on to that, Scott Kiefer's trying to get my attention. Matty Evans wants to get back into a Derby car. Scott Kiefer, there's going to be doing a saying for his wife Mel, who passed away there over at the Steuben County Fair on Tuesday's Derby. Both of the boys are running in dedication to her, so just want to make a quick mention of the memorials that are being paid to Scott Kiefer's wife Mel over at that event. So we do have a few more instances and notes that we want to get to here before the end of the show. We got Matt Scheltema, who is joining us on the show now down in Virginia, and it's miraculous. The decals that he found rolled up in the back of his shop looked a whole lot like a slab-side mid-'90s Lincoln with a well-put-together frame. So it's Matt, it's incredible what a couple stickers can do.
Yeah, I had no idea it would blow up the way it did.
The situation at hand was a little bit fluid. That's a car that's been around for a little while, and it's had some pretty interesting hands on it as a whole. You're down there. The first time you had the chance to run in the United States was running over at Woodstock, if I remember correctly. The last time I saw you guys, you were I was pretty confident I was going to be drug out the driver's side window of my car as we were leaving Erie County in Sandusky, Ohio. But that was the last time we had the chance to run into each other. So it was good to see that there was a chance maybe that you were going to be getting back into the car. I'm going to kind of turn the reins over to you to tell me what exactly the situation is. Are you in the States full time? Where'd the car come from? What's happening here?
Basically, we kind of built the car, me and my buddy Brian McClung, for our buddy Steve to run Kicker in 2018, I think it was, and then. Basically, COVID happened, and then I was in a snowmobile accident, and now I can't run anymore. So basically, just help those guys out. And so we're trying to get it ready to run a show down in Illinois the end of September.
Is Woodstock? I know that car's not going there, but is Woodstock going on tonight and tomorrow?
Actually, I'm. Yeah.
Did I lose you?
Pardon?
Hey, Matt, are you there?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, perfect. So,
Yeah, I'm from Ontario, Canada.
okay, all right, I got you now. I understand that you're from Ontario. For a moment there, I thought that you had relocated. There's been a couple Canadians that have found their way into the United States with permanent residency down there in Virginia, and I didn't know if maybe there was a connection there.
No, I'm not that lucky. I got too much going on around here that I got to stay here. But I love coming down and watching the show and being part of what's going on down there. So,
where have you been? What have your haunts been? I know with the snowmobile accident, it's been a little bit of a challenge to get back into the car, and that's probably not something that's in the cards due to those injuries. But at the same time, in order to stay close to the sport and stay around it, kind of like what we talked about with Adam Fushi last weekend with a broken wrist and trying to take care of his family, what are you able to stay in the loop with, and what are you satisfying that derby habit with up there in Ontario?
I'm kind of helping Ron and Brian McClung with their stuff, just hacking and doing flag stuff, which actually I never thought I'd enjoy, but it's probably just as good as being in the car for me. That way I can kind of still have my hand in the stuff. And
Ron announced that he's got another show this year, right?
They're putting on a show, so $5,000 to win for Pro Stock. It should be a good show. They put a Billy Bash on Canada Day weekend and had a great turnout.
It's always fun to hear the stories about the folks that either they're hurt and they try to stay in it and they find different ways and they find that they like the stuff that they didn't necessarily think that they would enjoy. Or then on the flip side, it's like when it's time to get out, you have to stop and you have to have nothing into it because like Frank said a couple weeks ago, it will just slowly chew your whole soul back into it, hook, line, and sinker, you know?
Yeah, it's
for sure.
It's hard to get away from, that's for sure.
And I love hearing all the stuff that guys say to you, too, that you've said to tech guys. My favorite one is, I just had it laying around the shop. I've used that so many times, too.
Is it easier to be in the tech line now since you've been somebody who was one of those creative builders?
It's I love seeing what guys do and stuff like that. So yeah, I enjoy that side of it too, right?
I wonder how many inspectors there has been or is that.
Pardon? I didn't hear that.
I said I wonder how many inspectors, and this is not no way towards you, but I wonder how many inspectors there was, or gonna be that inspect extra amount of time to a certain person's car that's known to do okay. So either, you take like, back in the day.
Did you see Bryce just perk up?
Look at this. Yeah, there's something behind that. Look at Porkchop's face. Oh, right. There's something. Something just happened. Like Mike Klinger. He's a bad dude.
Oh, yeah.
And he wins a lot. And everybody swears to God he's a cheater. I'm not saying he has never, but generally speaking, he's one of the most straight up ones there is.
Oh, yeah.
And even my crew would make comments, there ain't nothing done to that car. Well, yeah. I mean,
and that's another thing too. You see just the same thing. You think guys are like, oh yeah, these guys are cheaters and stuff.
And it blows your mind,
how to put stuff at certain places.
I went to Whitney Point Broom, and there was a crew there, and they're like, they said that the cars, come over, look at it. It truly straight up, like 100%. Look, they guaranteed it was straight up. Over the course of the Derby and all over the country, I wonder how many people spend the extra time not to try to catch them, but for personal interest of how to build or how to put this bolt or how to do it, just as well as probably interesting. I mean, I've personally seen things like 5-gallon buckets with just a bungee cord over it with a gas in it, like insane things.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it's, you know, we've been to enough derbies, you know, and I've been around enough inspection lines where you can see that some cars definitely take a lot more time going through a line than other cars. And
Which they shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't. Absolutely not. You know, and it's that's the thing. That's one thing I feel, in my humble opinion, that hurts derbying is there's too many personal feelings in it. Like you go to a successful touring race or a successful touring series, and you can name any of them, you know, all that is a job. It's nothing personal. So as long as X, Y, and Z is right, then X, Y, and Z is right. We don't go looking for Q and W and L and N, and you know what I mean? And it should never be about who the driver is or who the build is.
I believe in my heart 9 out of 10 times it depends. There was one year I went to Brook. Where the heck did I go? Fulton maybe. Ben Haas took a car to the show. I bought it that he got loaded.
Weed Sport.
He got loaded. I bought that car that week.
Mm-hmm.
Took it to the same promoter show the following week with different paint on it, and I won the show.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't cut nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's a true story.
I think Matt's chuckling at that. Have you had a similar experience along those lines?
Listening to all the old school stories and stuff like that, just it's true though. You think that you have a chance to buy somebody's car that you think's cheating, and it's a wake up call that no, they're just a good driver, and it's good to see that stuff still happens, right?
Yeah, it never went away. It never went away. How about in your area?
No, it's kind of it's the same as like everywhere. I think a lot of Facebook has a lot to do with people just talking and stuff like that, but it is what it is.
Bad news does seem to travel fast, right? Like people start looking around and all that news gets back to the promoters, and all of a sudden all the screen captures start coming out. What about at home in Kentucky with everything that you've been through and the people that you're connected with? It's no secret who your friends are. Do you find that your car is on the rack?
Oh yeah.
Longer than?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we had a few people around home driving by every night when we were working on the car, and we ended up moving my enclosed trailer across my driveway so nobody could see what we were, because I don't have a shop, I work in the driveway. So they were all driving up and down the road real close looking over, and I'm like, yeah, just turn the light off for a minute.
It's funny when you can go from like 40 to walking speed just to try and get a peek.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then it's all over the Facebook and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think the Facebook and the internet, that's when it all went downhill. You know, back in the day, you wouldn't know who was going, nor what kind of cars they would go. Mm-hmm. It would be a little more difficult playing your strategy, but you want to, you know, this is before people are scared of Imperials or et cetera, you know. I was actually busting Steve Siopa's rear because I sent him a message. Why are you allowed to run Imperials? Because I'm signed up for his class, but I was on the borderline if I was going to go or not. And then I'm like, nah, I ain't going to go. I sent him a text, hey, you allowed to run Imperials? He goes, no, people will cry if I run Imperials. Or the Ford guy, I don't know what word he said.
It's crazy.
So I says, after running my 11 last night, I sent him a message. Hey, is the rules the same for the 03 and newer as a... Well, no, you can't run 03 and newers. I said, what's the Imperial guys crying about the 03 and newers now? Like, or, you know, being a, because it's true.
Yeah.
Like, people, because it's known, because, you know, the publicity,
social media, it gets out there,
makes a difference of, you know, intimidation or who's going, who's not going, what they're taking, and I think the social media made a big difference in it.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, what were you about to say?
Yeah, it's the same up here too, where like guys, Imperials are kind of coming back up this way, and it seems like car counts are low anyways, but they are said it's just, I don't know, I would take a 98 to 02 or 03 against an Imperial all day long.
Now, would you do that built the same, like with no protectors?
Pardon?
If the 9802 didn't have protectors and the Imperial didn't have protectors, do you think the 9802 could run with them?
There's a bunch of factors that come into play on that, like the tracks and where you're going to be running and rules and stuff. But
the drivers and allies.
I find the 9802 you can get around a lot easier.
This is an interesting take that we had Junkyard Dog throw at us from the live chat. The best inspectors have never built or driven a car. And I don't know if he's being serious with that or if that's something that's being said kind of tongue-in-cheek. And my thought is the best cheaters make the best inspectors because they know what to look for in terms of those subtle heat marks or where to put the scopes and what you're going to want to do to stuff.
I assume I'll take the heat, and I will assume that he may mean the people in the stands.
Oh,
that car's cheating. That car's cheating.
I see.
He's got to be cheating to beat my friend. And I would assume, and I could be completely wrong. And if I am, please tell me.
That's probably the right. And I didn't think of it when he said it. Like,
yeah, I would assume that's probably
your junkyard. Your spectator drivers, your spectator inspectors, your spectator.
I assume that's probably what he means.
There's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks that have never lost a Super Bowl either.
That's why I can't go in the stands. Like I can't go in the stands for any sport, racing, derby, and football. I can't be in the stands because I just can't.
Well, between that and all the people that are just clamoring for autographs.
That's definitely not true. My name isn't Relyea. But no, I can't because like derby, and that car's cheated and da-da-da-da-da, and I'm just like...
That does make more sense.
It's so frustrating, like, especially in derby. I mean, somebody's got a clean anything, and they hit a rusty anything. Chances are the rusty anything's going to build before the...
How far, I want to ask, I could ask Porkchop either, but...
Do it.
The 91 Crown Vic to a 9802, 91 HD... 9802, like a different ball game, Porkchop. Like the reason I'm asking is I got a 91 that Gaskin put together for me that I was thinking about, running, and then you hear 9802. I'm old iron, you know what I mean? But I think I'm gonna.
It's good to know that 91 is still old iron.
not when you're 60.
I thought you were running a shocker.
I wanted to, but it just didn't go together. I still may. I don't know.
I mean,
my problem is my Ford is like 80% done. The shocker, like the windows are still in it. My ambition is like non-existent.
Matt's got it was a slab side Lincoln, one of those mid-90s Lincolns there, but I don't even know for sure if you told me what frame was underneath it. We were talking earlier.
Yeah, it's a 9802 Lincoln frame.
On the older body. So I mean, is there a big disparity, I guess Brett was saying, between the 91 frame and that initial 80s and newer style frame that comes underneath those Fords versus the 9802 in your perspective?
I just more or less it's more of a comfort thing for me. That's basically what it comes down to. Just going to a state show, I'd rather have something that I feel a bit more comfortable with and experimenting up here, right?
Well, you see, doesn't Mike? I mean, I realize he's getting the new ones, but didn't he always run the older Fords? The 90.
91 and earlier ones.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
But he
churns out 50 cars because the rules don't allow you to do all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
What about in your area? I mean, you've been around a lot of people that have an affinity for Fords. Is it more comfort zone in what you want to do?
Depends on the build.
Yeah,
if you're allowed protectors,
for sure.
If you're not, if you're allowed to change body bolts, like a lot of these guys down home with the windshield cars, they're running 9802s and they're junking stuff.
Right.
Absolutely obliterating things.
I don't know what that was that Andy Wolf ran last night. He said he never tilted it or nothing, and I bumped into it a couple times pretty good, and. Man, was the front of that hard. He said, I don't know if it was like a 96 or 92.
I think Ken Owen's daughter just ran a 96 bone stock at. She ended up getting a hardcore nomination.
Okay.
Ken said that thing was nasty.
Well, Keystone's rules a little more than Bone Stock.
Keystone's rules is
Yeah, you can build them down there.
you're going to be building for a couple months.
Oh boy.
You've obviously never met Brett Relyea.
I ain't building for a couple
Just
months.
keep at it.
Why not?
Well, don't work that way. I got priorities.
Matt, who'd you say was going to be wheeling this car when it does make it to the track?
Steve Young. He's
I-
from up my way. He's it'd be kind of, I think, new experience for him. So
That's awesome. What's the combination that's in that under the hood?
he's running LS. That's Jeffy's fab farm that he's helped him with, and it's pretty nasty.
Nice. Those things don't mind getting run hard either. They can take that kind
No,
of stuff.
and Steve's the guy that's going to run it hard. So
I had one.
he's a good test and tune guy.
A good test and tune guy.
I had and have an LS. I bought it off Travis Seward. I ran it one time at Keystone last year, and it's out back in the junk pile. New cam, new heads. It just didn't work for me. I go to fire. I mean, I don't know how long I ran. 35, 40 minutes. I put it in my car for South Carolina, and run good until I put water in it. Looked like a damn sprinkler system out the stacks.
And it been sitting outside in the winter?
No, it was in the garage all winter. It was in the car. Something must have went.
A lot of times you don't winterize stuff. They're real good before you put them outside.
This is the God's honest truth. That LS I had in the bottom garage, covered up. Last Thursday, I says to Matt Foreman, I said, hey, that Cordova that my daughter Tabitha ran last year, I said, go out back and get it. He says, bro, there's no air cleaner or stack covers. So just go get it. Pushes it in the garage. God is my witness. Put a starter on it. Didn't even pull the plugs. Dumped some gas in it. Fired up. Sat there and idled.
Well, that's how things usually work at your shop.
Pulled the plug out. Pulled the oil plug out. Drained the water and the oil out of it, and put new oil in it. It's going to run Friday. It just blows my mind how, you try to take care of things, and it fails.
Who does? Who does?
I threatened my wife to I was going to bring my engine in for Christmas and sit it in the living room floor and decorate it for Christmas.
He was going to make a coffee table out of it.
That's love.
Goodness.
That was a no, by the way.
Why, Chris, if you don't mind, why I just said that about my daughter, Coble Skills this week, my daughter Tabitha Relyea and Darren Spurback, if it wasn't for them, they worked unforgivably hard on it. Tabby, it's Tuesday, Thursday, next Sunday. I just wanted to shout out to her and Darren. Thank you for the hard work and
Is that one of the road rage shows?
No, it's his show.
It's Coos. It's Kings of
Okay.
Old School. I'm putting
I got
on Coble Skill Fair, and unfortunately, it's the same time as Jeremy and the same time as or not Jeremy, Jason Sherman, Road Rage, and as a matter of fact, isn't Morris was yesterday too, wasn't it? They're all right here close.
Yeah, everything's all packed together this time of year.
It is what it is, but I want to shout out to Tabitha. She works extremely hard on it. I'm proud of the girl, and Darren's, been working on it. But yeah, it's Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday this week coming up.
You gonna drive in it so you can take all the money?
I'm trying to figure out how to do it, but that's no, I'm not. Tuesday's Coble Skill, Wednesday's a Wego, Thursday's Coble Skill, Friday's a Wego. I'm sure something Saturday. I think Hartford. Is Hartford Saturday?
I thought Hartford was. I thought Hartford was later in the summer.
Hartford's later in the summer.
This week or next week?
Really?
Oh, they might have moved it up.
Then Sunday is Coble Skill, and Monday is Walton. I think I'll go up there and play with them a little bit. And then Friday is right. Why do you laugh? Friday is Walton. That's a good derby if you're in town. Walton. That's a good show, is it not, Brian?
Yeah, I've never been there, but it's the only show I've ever watched on tape where it looked like the cars were going fast.
Yep.
Guaranteed 2 people leave an ambulance every year.
Never fails.
Rick
Matter
Englehart
of fact,
had a lot of great runs there.
How many fairs around anymore that seat 5,000 people that are sold out 2 months early?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's still that way this year. I haven't checked.
I'm
I
sure
think
it is.
Last year, I think was the first year you got to buy them there.
Yeah, Rick Englehart had a lot of good runs there.
Yeah, he did okay.
He junked a lot of Opars.
Wow.
His own and other people's.
I got a picture of him when we were on the starting line. It was last year, and I pulled up next to him, and he gave me a thumbs up, and I took a picture of my cell phone in my pocket. They're down to 3, and I'm like, oh no, because they don't play there.
You pulled up on the starting line next to who?
Rick Englehart.
Not last year.
No, the last year.
Oh, I was like, wait a second.
No, I wasn't.
No,
He
the
might have
last year.
been there, but not in person. But the last year,
Well, I'm sure he's there.
The last year he ran, I pulled up next to him. It was a feature. It was a Monday night because I won it with a Cordova, and I pulled up next to him, and he looks over and gives me thumbs up. I'm digging, and they're going 5, 4, and I'm trying to get my phone, and Porkchop, I'm telling you, them sons of guns will hit you at 50 there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was also, weren't you the guy that lost your cell phone and your wallet out of the bottom of a derby car, ran the length of the derby before you knew it was missing, and found them under the car?
Well, it wasn't my wall, but my cell phone and my sunglasses.
Okay, just again.
Yeah, that's happened.
We were talking about the social media side of things, and I was reminded how Brett had that Imperial, and he would put an engine next to it, and he would drag it up into the tree and then let it down and turn it around and put the back end up and take the wheels off just to mess with the people that were driving by. And the car that he was building wasn't even at that property for that show.
Yeah, things like that have happened.
But that's the nature of the beast out there, I suppose, huh?
Illusions. I think that was Robbie Brown.
We're good. we're good with it right there. What's next on the schedule for you beyond coming to the States with the car that you were posting the pictures of today and working on the projects with Ron and Brian McClung? What else is on the horizon for you, Matt?
Probably hopefully make it down to and yeah, kind of Turkey Derby. I'm thinking I'm going to go down, watch that, and kind of get back into it this year.
Is there any truth you were sponsoring Imperial for next week's Derby, Chris?
What Derby are you speaking of?
I just heard there was a Derby in Tioga County. Next week you were sponsoring Imperial for a guy.
Actually, it's funny that you asked that, but I never figured out what year Mark was building, so I didn't get the length of the reps done.
No, I didn't think the vinyl. I thought you were buying the whole car.
Yeah, but that was part of the deal. Was for Mark was getting everything done, but he was looking at a 62 and he was looking at a 60. Are you serious?
Now, is Mark,
am I tipping too many?
Is Mark an ally name?
We're all done here.
Oh, no, I know you're about done, Chris. Thank you for having me.
No, we're done with that conversation. I got to say goodbye to Matt first.
I still want to tell you thank you for having me, and I appreciate everything.
Matt, man, I appreciate you making some time. Stay in touch. Let us know what's going on. Keep in touch. Let us know what Bad Ronnie's up to with all the stuff going on up there. And by all means, if you're ever in town, we'd like to see you in person again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll keep in touch, and then you guys should come down. Hopefully, Kansas Day weekend. Maybe talk to Ron and see if it could work out.
Fantastic. Man, I appreciate you coming on, making some time for us. Always good to hear from you, and glad to know everything went well after you recovered from that snowmobile accident.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a great night.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye now. There goes Matt Schultema, the one, the only. Trevor Pedke, he had a demo that was essentially 20 years in the making. What started out as running as an inside joke with his uncle and some friends for Trevor. Finally hit up Altamont indoor demo, had a great time. Grabbed the win. Drew Dahlman was third, got hardest hitter. Terry Pelchernick was over there, as well as Zach Harrell. He was involved with it as well. It was something for the memory book, so good to hear that Trevor Pedke had a good time after they finally got the chance to run at that Altamont indoor show. Brad Bowman, UTC's in the books. He got second, and he named the car Horse of Many Colors. So if you've ever been around Brad Bowman, you can figure what was happening in, around, underneath, and through that car with a nickname as such. wanted to say thanks to everybody there. Cody Mittler put the transmission together for him and held up to Brad. Brad's a little tough on stuff, so now he's going to go and go run at Juab. So that was good. Trevor Jones and the crew took a 1-2-3 at Petersburg last Friday in the second week in a row. Don Santel, Luke Worland, and Trevor ended up putting together 1-2-3. So that was pretty neat. He took the mini car and also pulled off the win in that. So pretty good weekend for Trevor Jones. A pretty good stretch of probably 7 or 8 days there for Trevor Jones out there. Unfortunately, those weren't Unified Point Series shows, so it's not going to help him gain any ground. But I guess it's probably good news for anybody watching Don Santel hanging around there, just kind of lurking at this point. I would love to see it one time. I don't think I've ever seen it. And
What is it with you and putting everybody in minis?
No, I mean, Trevor Jones in an 03 Mini. Could you imagine?
You just cut the doors out of it, make it as long as the Civic. Carson Dixon, he finished off the Caddy in Glasgow. I saw some pretty crazy pictures of him just about rolling everybody over, so that was kind of neat. And he ended up with 3rd place after he broke the transmission in at Glasgow. Good track, great car. Thanks for everybody for the help in that one. And then we talked about the people that were retiring and stepping away from the sport as a whole. Andy Sherrato from Andy Derby and Chris Bloom also were talking about stepping away from the sport. We do have to do a couple more quick cleanup notes here, tell you about Jeffy and the Iron City Nationals. We'll follow up on that stuff when we come back. Whoops, glad we didn't hit play. That was not the one that we wanted. There we go.
Jeffy's Fab Farm in Fredericksburg, Virginia specializes in all of your demolition derby needs. We've got you covered from bumper to bumper. Whether you need headers, shifters, harnesses, fueling systems, or complete turnkey setups, Jeffy'sFabFarm.com can help. We've even got a Canadian branch to help our northern customers. With over 16 years in the industry, we've got the knowledge and experience needed to provide the highest quality parts and put you in the winner's circle. Visit our website today or call Jeff at 540-907-3390. Fabby says the best parts come from the farm. Jeffy'sFabFarm.com.
Iron City Nationals are coming up in a little under 2 months. Friday the 9th is going to be opening night stock compacts, the big wing class, 2-man extreme class, and super stock. Heat number 1, pits open at 8 a.m. Saturday the 10th follows up with Power Wheels, Most Wanted Fine Art, Street Stock Challenge, full-size youth class, and then the second and third 10,000 win championships. Pits open at 7 a.m. It's at the New Alexandria Lions Club, 1874 Lions Club Road, New Alex, Pennsylvania. IronCityPromos.com for additional details. The Super Stocks, all 3 flights are going to be paying 10,000 win and a championship belt. The Big Wayne Heavyweight class, 2,500 and a championship belt. 2-man Extreme class, 2,000 to win. Stock Compacts, 1,500 to win. 1,500 to win. Street Stock Challenge, and then the Youth Full Size, $700, a championship belt, and a fresh 98-02 Crown Vic. That's all waiting for the winners at the Iron City Nationals. We're going to be going over the list a little bit later on. Online for details, IronCityPromos.com. Everything. Covering all the final touches on that leg of things. So real quick, just to dive back into that. Andy Sherrato, he's got an issue just with his health, and in the interest of making sure that he can stay upright, walking and talking, he's going to have to step away from the sport. He's had a lot of ups and downs, as you know, in the past 20 years. He's going to refocus on his family. So Andy Sherrato, everybody knows him from North Dakota Demolition Derby, the Facebook page. He's been all over that thing, and he's been doing a lot of work on his cars, helping other people, and feeling the effects of running the car Saturday. So he's going to step away, and he's putting together a full list of everything, because if it's one of those cases where if you don't walk away 100%, you're never going to walk away 100%, and he wants to try and take that out of there. And then Chris Bloom. The car collapsed after a wheel shot up in Glenwood, Minnesota, which was unfortunate. Would have been nice to see him jump up there and pick up a win in his last run. He's been in the sport for 15 years, but just the abuse that the sport can put on your body physically, he said that he's going to have to throw in the towel on that one. So congratulations to the efforts and successes of Andy Sherrato and Chris Bloom, and that's that. That's all the notes.
410 episodes. Mind-blowing.
That's just in here. That's just on.
That's just Finger Lakes 1. That
doesn't
doesn't include like pre-race shows or.
Yeah. But still, I remember, when it first started, episode number 28. 400, you know,
Yeah.
it's really, you know, how many, you know, from the get-go, how many is, you put that into, you know, 52 weeks a year, that stuck it out, good and bad, the headaches, the stress, the, you know, because everybody has family lives, you know, whatever. It's amazing.
As we were approaching episode number 400, we had the math on it from, because September 24th-ish is generally the anniversary, right around there. And from that point, we calculated how many weeks were left in the year. We went up to number 400, and using that as the starting point, figured out how many potential weeks we would have had. And I think we missed a total of like 47 weeks over the course of those 12 years. So, I mean, the numbers I'm just kind of loosely putting together because I don't remember what it was, but it broke down to missing like 5 episodes a year for that span. So that's New Year's, Christmas, Memorial Day, and the Monday after Blizzard Bash. Just there's 4 of them right there. You know, with the last couple of years with soccer and stuff, it's been a little bit more tough because we've had to shuffle stuff, but it's not quite the same as the pace that it used to be. But yeah, it's been pretty consistent staple.
I hauled Topeka cans out there to Blizzard Bash, walked out, and I think it was I don't know if it was Tice or if it was I don't know who it was. Anyways, they walked out of the motel at 8 in the morning. And he says, "Get on the highway. I got my tractor trailer with all their cars on it." And he says, "We'll catch you right up the road." It was Jamie Bolt, I think, said it. Never did see him. Drove 23 hours. No, Jamie did catch me there for
A minute?
I think in Pennsylvania, maybe.
Was the tractor trailer as fast as the Challenger?
No. But I did run. I was pushing the speed limit pretty good most of the way back.
We knew you made it. We heard you pull the driveway here.
I was easy here.
I didn't say you weren't easy. We just knew you had arrived.
Ben Haas, if you're watching this, Melanie was driving. We went by your mom's. It wasn't me.
Hey, do you see do you know the coincidence in this being episode number 410?
There's a lot of combinations that it could be. What's your connection?
Knoxville Nationals is this week.
I thought you were going to jump into some connection to Klinger.
No.
Or
Actually,
Tiffany.
I was thinking
Tiffany was 410 and he was 409.
Knoxville
Speedometer
Nationals.
stopped at 85 on the tractor, so if it was above that, I don't know what it was. But we made
Made good time.
Yeah. I'm glad my logbooks didn't work.
Yeah. Awesome.
Kristen, you have something you want to take care of before we end the show?
Well, first, I bumped into Kurt Jones, which was one of the few people that was like, it's been a while since I've been at Land of Legends Raceway, and I got the call Thursday to go announce out there.
Really?
Yeah, Stephen Ovens. There was some folks that due to sickness and days off, etc., weren't going to be able to make it there. And he goes, "Would you want to come and do victory lanes?" And I kind of, said, let me double check and make sure that this is all going to fall together the right way. And ultimately, I was able to go there. And Stephen he flies solo in the tower, so
he's the only track announcer.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I really had my fingers crossed, but I didn't want to put my nose where it didn't belong, but they had a second headset when I was getting there, and Art Rourke said, "You guys are going to be working from right there." So it was a lot of fun. We did a stand-up before the show started, and the last time I called a race at that track was 2009. And as many times as our paths have overlapped, Stephen Ovens and Stu and Brad and everything, I've never done a race with him.
No kid.
Yeah, so it was like 22 years in the making. And
How was it interviewing Alan in Victory Lane for the 100?
I made the guy laugh.
Did you really?
I got a chuckle out of him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was just really cool all the way around. It was Mark Manutolo's 100th win.
Yep.
So that was cool. And Darryl Ruggles was just on absolute rails.
He's cheating. It's the only time he wins. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, he was fast, man. It was and Tyler Groskup. He got called into flag, and Scott Hickson was up on the tower doing the race director job. So that was the first time he had done a big car race at a track that was a half mile in size. Tyler, I mean.
Did Tyler does Tyler race flat track motorcycle?
I didn't ask him that. He flags at Paradise.
Chad Groskup used to be in that. I thought he had a son as well, but I'm sorry. Continue their story.
But yeah, I mean, it was really.
It's going to be something you're going to be doing.
Huh?
Or is that just?
Well, they said that it sounded really good. That's a night like that makes it really easy to remember the good times. You know.
At least justifies that car you're buying, that sponsor.
Good to say Land of Legends on this time. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But you know, you were talking about episode number 410 and where this is at and just what we've been able to accomplish and where we've come with stuff. And you know, if you throw Crash Course Derby podcast into Google, it shows up on Spotify, which was really cool. And there's a bunch of other podcast entities that have picked it up, and the episodes are there.
How long has it been since you announced over there?
Where?
Canandaigua?
Canandaigua, it was 2009.
The reason I'm asking, is there anything that was like, you know, the sound system or the mics or the track or the pit row or anything that was just different, or was it just like rolling back in from, you know, because when you're talking 13 years.
I'm going to do this real quick. What do you call me?
Huh?
What do you call me? My nickname that you always say.
I don't.
Force or Rain Man.
It went fine.
That's what I like to hear.
What was cool was Tom Sklavinsky, who used to work for Dirt Car and when I was working for the 358 series and the World of Outlaws, and Gary Spade both still work there. And during the pre-show, Steve, the pre-show was live inside the studio, whereas inside the booth where they could hear it. And Steven introduced me, and when I came back through, both of them said, "I didn't even recognize you. Like, you used to have contacts and you wear a hat all the time." I'm like, yeah, it's. Last time I announced there, I was 27. I was 40 now. You know.
Wow.
At times they're like, "Why didn't you say hi?" I'm like, "You're working. You want to know who I am? You'll ask." You know. Who's the weirdo with the tall hair lurking about? You know.
Oh, that's great.
It was a lot of fun, but you know, it's been a heck of a trip, you know, and it's been fortunate to make a lot of connections like we were talking about before, and be able to talk to the people, and be fortunate enough to have the good luck that Porkchop and Bryce were in town to be able to come up, and you know, we've got people that support the show like you do, that at the drop of a hat you make the. You know, it was a 3-hour drive that you made in 45 minutes all the way up here. Mel did a great job getting here on time, you know.
I almost took a picture of because I think my speedometer's off, but I didn't want, like, just in case it is right. I don't want evidence.
Yeah, I don't think you need to do that.
The community, the Derby, you know how many people have saved me in my business, you know, that if I have a truck broke down or whatever, we're talking Pennsylvania, New Jersey, my mind went blank. New Jersey, your buddy. Ken's did it for me. You know, hey, make a few bucks. It might be something as simple as whatever, coolant or a belt or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But even that aspect, I've had so many situations. You know, I've done it for Jamie St. Mary. I've done it for a lot of people, but the Derby world truly, even, you know, it's brought a lot. I believe it's done a lot better than bad. Like, there is bad.
Oh, absolutely. There's bad in everything, but there's a lot of good in Derby.
Yep, I agree with that.
Chris, you gonna address something now?
I do. What's that?
So you gonna address something now?
I kind of thought that, you know, if you want to know more about Crash Course, you could always just take time to throw those 4 words, Crash Course Derby podcast, into Google, and you'd be able to find out everything about where it is. There's YouTube options. There's a lot of different stuff that's out there. So if anybody thinks that they're going to diminish the 12 years of work that we've put in here, they're going to have to, you better pack a lunch, you know. There's been some folks that have had some stuff to say over the last 2 weeks, and it hasn't necessarily come to me, but
I find that stuff interesting. How do I find out? Can I Google that?
Oh, yeah. I don't.
See, I've
I don't
tried
think
keeping
so.
my filter minimum over the last few years.
Your filter minimum? Or your filter maximum, like turned up
maximum.
To,
like he hasn't let out what he wants to.
The holes in that sieve are really, really small, or are they really, really big?
I think I'm proud of myself.
I think that's okay. So you've turned it up and you've kept your composure.
Just like
I agree
earlier,
with
you
that,
made
yes.
a comment about somebody made a comment on a post about somebody on a backboard or something. I want to tell you what I thought of. I said, no, I probably should be,
Oh, goodness.
I'm very good.
You
gotta be
have
proud of
evolved as a human. I love it.
It took 60 years and I'm getting there.
Growing up.
Yeah.
You're 60. I'm really in trouble because I'm older than you.
Yep.
I feel it.
But,
Amen.
Is there any big, besides Keystone and that, is there any major things you're hitting? I mean, is there any, because I really, this is no, I've been out of the loop. I didn't even know I didn't even know my derby was coming up this week. I've been out so far. I didn't, is there anything, any big derbies you're aware of?
Yeah, Tosa's got High Banks coming up. Brandon Thomas has a show coming up in Minnesota. In terms of where I'm going to be, you just have to wait and find out.
See.
Actually, I was gonna Google when Hartford is. I don't even. they're running. I mean, they're running 80 and newer bone stock. It pays good money, I guess. But I'm just not interested in.
No, I agree.
Them Ford windows don't fit 500 pounds through it. And I need a big window, like a two-door Cadillac or something.
There you go.
Imperial.
Chris, once again,
how big's the window on the 77 Cadillacs? Not big enough?
No, they're not big enough. They're too new. 75s, 74.
Yeah, it's going to be
74
tough
and a half is the best year.
It's going to be tough to slip that through for 80s and newer. I figured maybe some of
the
those
best ones, though, is if you get a 74 that was built late in the year, they combine 74 and 75 frames. They're very special.
There ain't many of them.
There ain't many, but there's a few that.
It's hard to run the VINs because back then, but I got the app that does that.
Every one of those combined 74, 75 frames that I've seen needed a ton of rust repair too, because it was wrecked at one time or had to sit out in a pond because it had been welded all together or something.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah, in the mud.
Did you hear that? Did you hear the right?
Same mud.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's the same mud from Troy Fair.
Muddy all
Once again, one thing I want to touch on before Chris shuts us down.
Yeah, we're running late.
Chris handled what was told to him a lot better than I would have.
Because I stay above that stuff.
You do stay above that stuff. But I will say that until the day I die, you will never be able to prove to me that any one person has done more for the sport than Chris Marquardt. And I'll argue with that with anybody from here to Hawaii. I'm on Facebook, or if you want my number, it's not hard to find, but there's nobody that's done more for Derby than Chris Marquardt. And I'll leave it at that.
Well, there may be. You just may not know about it. You may not. You know what I mean?
I don't think so.
Who's kidding who? Chris. I told you from before, and we've had our difference in opinions, good or bad. But as I told you from day one, I do respect the level of passion and heart. Things might come across differently, but the heart and the passion and the raw truth, there is nobody, in my opinion. There might be people better, there might be people as good, but I'm not trying to gloat you for my benefit, 'cause there is no such thing. But I do have a level of respect and appreciation, as I told you from day one. You don't need to be a car salesman for your gain, because your gain is a minimum for what you do, if that makes sense. And that's my opinion. Everybody has opinion,
As long as we leave it better, right?
Yep, and we have done that.
Can I say a couple thanks for some of my sponsors, please?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I gotta thank my wife. She's been put through hell for the last 2 years between the bash car and this one. I'm still partially married, but my work, NNI Construction, Planet Fitness, Buff City Soap, Smoothie King, couldn't do it without them. My brother Jason for the beautiful motor, runs great. Toast, Nick Glassburn with OFR Fab, Zach Lease for the rear and the tires, and all my boys at the house. It's nice to be back with them guys for 20 years. I mean, now their kids is running derbies, and now they're helping me. So to Owen, Chuck, Johnny, my main man here, he's keeping me going. He's been building, like I said, give him another couple years and a dry place to work, and he's going to be dangerous.
Sounds like Dad's got to build the shop.
It's coming.
You've been telling me that shop's coming since we saw you in Owington.
Dude, I'm still in the house.
I see the pictures, Porkchop. That's gorgeous.
I
just want to come down and go deer hunting.
Yeah, I see the first time Tompkins come to my house a couple years ago there.
Oh, couple 30.
Yeah, he says, where's your shop? I says, it's out there in the driveway. Yeah, I mean, I did have like a shed I worked in, but he thought I had a garage back then, and I mean, I got a garage now, but I had more ambition then. Like,
right.
Like,
we've all gotten older.
Yeah, so we'll see what Toast shows bring. I think that's where I'm headed. Either that or Jason's. Jason's got Wabash coming up October 1st. Turkey
and then,
Derby.
I was just going to say, Turkey Derby's looming right around the corner, too.
Then Florida. Then, oh, well, can't forget Blizzard Bash, for God's sakes.
You're going to be busy.
Yeah, I ordered 700 pounds of non-wire.
Oh, my God.
Excellent.
That's insane.
Awesome.
And 26 turnbuckles.
Oh, I am so not unloading your truck.
Well, I appreciate you making some time and coming out here to hang out with us. Hopefully it was worth the drive.
Oh, absolutely. I'll
Thanks.
let you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Brett, thanks for making the ride up. Congratulations again on the win. We'll have to do this again Monday.
Did you tell me how I can Google that information I'm missing? Because I don't think nobody told me this.
No, we didn't tell you that.
I'll get you what you need. And then we got a great show lined up again next Monday, which we're looking forward to getting into that one as well. We followed up on that information you shared with me, and we'll have everybody involved.
Okay.
Hey,
Good stuff,
we did
right?
forget one thing.
Okay.
Well, more or less he did. Go ahead and say it, because...
Can't forget Mom's Work. They sponsor this too. Ours Liquor, thank you very much for they paid the entry fees and stuff. So.
Sweet.
Awesome. Can't go wrong with that. That's going to do it for episode number 410. We appreciate everybody that tuned in and hung out with us here. Live chat was real active tonight. That's always a good time. Matt Scheltema, Chris Rookey, thanks for making time for us tonight as well. That's going to do it for number 410. We'll see everybody next time.
Crash Course Live is presented by Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of May Mania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.